monetary system refers to a set of conventions and rules that support cross-border investment, trade, and the reallocation of capital between different countries. It also defines how exchange rates, microeconomic management, and the balance of payment are addressed between nations. Next is the definition of balance of payment (BOP) accounting system. BOP is the method by which countries measure all the international monetary transactions within a certain period. BOP also consists of three main accounts, which are the current account, the capital account, and the financial account. Then the collapse of the gold standard, which is where the countries buy or sell their paper currency in exchange for gold.
The International Bank for Reconstruction and Development is the official name of the World Bank, established in 1945. The World Bank's initial goal was to help finance reconstruction of the war-torn European economies. With the assistance of the Marshall Plan, the World Bank accomplished this task by the mid-1950s. It then adopted a new mission to boost the economies of the world developing countries. As its mission has expanded over time, the World Bank has created 4 affiliated organizations, as you can see it above. To ensure that the post-World War II monetary system will promote international commerce, the Bretton Woods Agreement created the International Monetary Fund (IMF) to oversee the functioning of the international monetary system. Article 1 of the IMF Article of Agreement lay out the organization objective.
Bretton Woods system established the dollar-based gold standard, which the par value of US dollar was set at $35 per ounce of gold. Because of this situation, each country established a par value for its currency. Bretton Woods agreements resulted in fixed exchange rate. Each country pledged to maintain the value of its currency within a range of plus minus 1% of its par value. However, under extraordinary circumstances, the Bretton Woods agreement allowed a country to adjust its currency's par value. Accordingly, the system is often described as using an adjustable peak because currencies were pegged to gold, but the peaks themselves could be altered under certain conditions. And what happened during 1950s to 1970s was where the end of the Bretton Woods system. The factors of this situation are because of speculative runs on bank, Triffin paradox, special drawing rights, SDRs, Nixon 1971 speech, and lastly Smithsonian Conference. The history of international monetary system continued by March 1973, where the central banks considered they could not successfully resist free market force and so established a flexible exchange rate system. Since 1973, exchange rates among money currency have been established primarily by the interaction of supply and demand. After that, this is where they slowly learn how to manage float, or more particularly a dirty float, because exchange rates are not determined purely by private sector market force. Next, on January 1976, an international conference held in Jamaica resulting Jamaica Agreement, where each country was free to adopt whatever exchange rate system best met its own requirements. Other countries adopted a fixed exchange rate by pegging their currency to the dollar, but others used scrolling peaks as well. After that, in 1979, EU members created the European Monetary System (EMS) to manage currency relationship among themselves. Most EMS members choose to participate in the EU Exchange Rate Mechanism (ERM), and now the current international monetary system is an amalgam of fixed and flexible exchange rates behind of this long history. And now, let's see what happened with the international monetary system post-World War II. The United States complained that an overvalued dollar was making its export non-competitive and allowing cheap imports to damage U.S. industries. In 1985, finance ministers from the Group of Five enacted the Plaza Accord, in which the central bank agreed to let dollar's value fall on currency markets. Fearing that continued devaluation of the dollar will disrupt world trade, the Group of Five enacted the Louvre Accord in 1987. This accord signaled the commitment of these 5 countries to stabilizing the dollar's value.
Next, I will continue the presentation, which is about the international debt crisis. This crisis caused oil price to skyrocket in 1973 until 1974 and also in 1978 until 1979. This also caused an oil embargo by the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Country, which is OPEC. In 1973, oil price quadrupled from $3 in October 1973 per barrel to $12 per barrel in March 1974. The result is an increase in inflation in oil importing countries. For example, the exporters' currency strengthened while the importers' currency fell. Next, the unused petrodollars are kept in national banks and used to give loans to the country to restore the economy. Besides, many countries borrow more than they can afford. This caused the borrower's position to be uncertain when the price of oil rise again from $13 per barrel to more than $30 per barrel. So, this caused inflation around the world and interest rates on loans that increased at the same time, burdening the debtor countries.
Next, I will explain about the major component of BOP system. The first one is current account. It records transaction of export, import of goods and services, investment income, and unilateral transfer. The second one is a capital account. It records purchase and sale of assets between two countries, which account transaction can be divided by two categories, which FDI and FPI. The third one is official reserve. It records the level of official reserve that held by a national government, such as gold, convertible currency, special drawing rights, and reserve position at the IMF. The fourth one is error and omission. It captures mistakes in the recording balance of payment transactions, such as under-reporting.